fuck up.
Welcome back to the Michelle Halloween podcast, vlog, and all those things. I'm super stoked. As you guys all know, today I have one of my favorite actors of one of my favorite characters, Art the Clown. I don't think, this does anything justice, but David, thank you for joining me today. You have no idea what a huge fan I am. I'm sure you get that a lot.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
I really appreciate it. So for those of you who may not know, which would make no sense to me, David Howard Thornton is the man that brought Art the Clown to life. During the hype of It Chapter 1 in 2017, this murderous, terrifying clown emerged from the indie horror scene and totally, in Michelle Halloween opinion, murdered the shit out of Pennywise. Favorite scenes include the famous hacksaw scene. I can tell you all day what that scene did to me while I was watching the first time. Your portrayal of Buffalo Bill / Leatherface in the one scene with the cat lady when you became the cat lady. And again, one of my other favorite scenes is after you ran the truck through the warehouse door, you're just sitting there chilling.
Oh, yeah. Good old jazz.
So prior to Terrifier, you were a voice actor, a stage actor. You played Grandpa Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. And then most recently, you portrayed the Joker in the Nightwing Escalation YouTube series.
Yes.
What the hell made you decide, with all that happy-ish stuff, and just a nice guy that you are, decide to audition for a horror film?
Well, it just seemed like an awesome opportunity because, I've always done, I've done a lot of children's theater. I've always done comedy my whole entire life. And I love horror, but I never thought I would be in a horror film. If I was ever in a horror film, I'll be like the Randy type character from Scream that got killed off halfway through. So it'd be like, I never thought I would be like bad guy material. So I'm like, but this opportunity came up because I was already a fan of All Hallows Eve, so I already knew the character and I loved the character, and I was like, oh, what an awesome character! I would love to play that character. So that opportunity came up when I saw the audition notice. I'm like, oh my god, yes! Because this was my very first film outside of just doing extra work and stuff like that. So I'm like, this would be a great way to finally get into the film industry. So I was like, this would be awesome. This is an awesome character, and it's a great way to get into this industry. Yes, please. So I, contacted my agents and had them submit me, and the rest is history.
It is history. I mean, we're talking 4 years, since production began. Yeah. I can't, what a success story, but it didn't come easily. I assume I do my research and I read up on you. You reminded me a little bit of Stephen King, where you were saying you got rejected more than you were ever, accepted into such roles. So do you want to give any advice on how to deal with rejection? Because holy shit, you're Art the Clown.
Yeah, well, that's just the nature of the business anyway. It's just like, plus I'm used to the rejection in my romantic life anyway.
Oh, really? I'm sure that's changed.
Well, we'll see.
And so I'll bring that up too, because again, I'm pretty unfiltered. So just give me no, just stop if I'm too much.
Oh no. But yeah, that's just how this industry is. It's just like for every yes, you get 100 no's, and it's not just me. It's basically everybody. It's very rare for someone just to walk in off the street and go to their first audition and win some big huge role in a film or Broadway show. That 99.9% of the time that does not happen. It takes years of people just having to hit the boards, hit the streets and everything, and work your way up to this level. So and that's one thing. It's all about persistence. You have to truly love this job to do it.
Absolutely.
Because you face rejection on a daily basis.
It's baffling, and it's very discouraging for some people, but build that thick skin. Now, what went through your head when you read the script for Terrifier?
Oh, I was like, this is crazy. I love it. Because I'm so used to movies, when the kill scene happens, they usually cut away. You see the first blow, and then it cuts away and you see the aftermath. And so I'm reading these descriptions of what's going on. So I had a message Damien. I'm like, so are we really doing that? And he's like, oh, yes. I'm like, oh shit, yes.
I'm so in.
Yes, I'm like
Now,
so in. I'm like that's gonna knock people's socks off because they're not used to seeing that anymore. I'm like this is going to change things.
and we miss that, So I'll get into that more on just how the reactions of, the scenes in Terrifier just blew people away, and I just love that nothing was held back.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I know you get this a lot, but please give us a description of that famous hacksaw scene.
Well,
Well, let me give you my interpretation really quick so you can feed off of like my vibe here. Like, I was on the couch watching because my family is not, we're a horror-based family, but I am the horror, okay?
yeah.
Local neighborhood horror. So I'm always looking for something that's going to actually blow my mind. And,
Yeah.
Oftentimes I watch horror films just for ambience. So I'm on my laptop and I'm watching the film while they're watching something family-friendly-ish, I'm sure. And when that scene came up, I'm watching and I'm going, holy shit, and I slammed my laptop shut. And my husband was like, are you okay? And I'm like, dude, you won't believe what I just saw. And he's like, are you okay? I was trembling with excitement and nausea and just cringy. So, and then I opened it up and finished watching the scene. So it was just, I feel like, I said this with It Chapter 1, my eyes had an orgasm because it was so good. My eyes really had the orgasm of their life during that scene. So, what was it like?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, it's fun to watch, but to tell you the truth, it was misery having to film that scene, especially not just for me, but especially for Catherine Corcoran, who played Dawn in the film. It's like she is the MVP of Terrifier, in my opinion, because she went above and beyond for that scene. That was torture for her.
I can't even imagine. You could see the physical reaction. She was shaking, as she was being hung there. And I could tell that wasn't acting. That was real. She's, of course, being hung upside down like that.
Very real. Plus it was 20 degrees that night in that room. We had no heat in there. So she's having to do all that in that exposed way for hours. This took hours to film because we could only film 30 seconds at a time because we would not let her hang upside down very long because it's so dangerous. It's not good for the human body to do. And so, that it's hard to film like that. And, and she's also got all that blood going down. And so like it's going into her nose and into her eyes at times. So we would have to, it's like, that's not fun. But she was a total champ. She was not complaining. I've had moments, I hate admitting it, but I've had my little, like, I've been sometimes just a little bit of a pussy on set sometimes. Where I'm just like, this is uncomfortable. Ow.
And yet here she is.
I can be a whiny little bitch at times where I'm just like, ow, ow, ow. It's like, it's like, the thing I never really realized about film is sometimes, like, you're seeing stuff that looks great on film. You don't realize sometimes you have to manipulate your body into positions that are not natural just to get the right angle on a shot or something like that, and it's just like, this is uncomfortable. Or like when you have to do it like with repeated stabbings, it looks really cool when you're just stabbing, but when you have to do that take after take after take after take, and you have to have that same amount of energy every time, it's draining. And you're like, my arm just starts to feel like it's about to fall off at times. It's just like, this is harder than it looks on film. But it's just like, that's the name, and that's part of the acting. You have to make it look like it's not painful or not, not uncomfortable or anything like that. You got to make it look natural. So, and Catherine did that expertly. It's just like, she's amazing. It's like that. She can do anything.
Oh, I absolutely adored her character. She was cracking me up with you already have 8 likes, and just taking, because that's some shit I would pull.
She's so funny. And the thing about Catherine,
like a funny person.
She's fantastic. And the thing is, she's nothing like that character in real life. It's just like she's not the blonde ditz that she plays on screen at all. She's got such great business acumen, for one. It's like, awesome. She is brilliant. She is a brilliant woman. It's just like, I absolutely adore her.
Oh, I hope you hear all this, Catherine. And I'll definitely tag you, girlfriend. You're amazing. And thank you for
all three of them. All three of those
everyone
girls.
In the film.
All three. Samantha. Oh, actually 4 of them. Puya, who played the homeless woman, Samantha, who plays Victoria, Jenna, of course, that plays Tara, and Catherine. All four of them are just amazing women. They're just like so they put me to shame. They're all so freaking ambitious and talented, and it's just like they all deserve to go great places with their career one day because they're such hard workers and they're just so great to work with. And I feel like that the same way towards people in part two, like especially our leading lady, Lauren Lavera. She is just absolutely amazing. I can't wait for you all to see her and her character because you are all going to fall in love with her character, and she's just as fantastic person offset as well. It's just I love working with all these people. We have really lucked out on these films with people that we've cast.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's Damien and everyone involved. I mean, the vision is incredible. I mean, again, as a fan and an indie horror movie guru, well, I wouldn't say guru, but fanatic, keep doing what you're doing. And the casting is incredible. Everyone, I've heard people, I remember when I first saw Terrifier, I was working at a Spirit Halloween store just for the fun of it. I wanted to have some fun. So after I watched it, I went to work the next day and I'm like, you guys have to watch this movie. So it literally, like 6 people went home and I don't think it was on Netflix at the time. So they rented it or bought it. And, I got half of, oh, well, these are people that thought, or were looking forward to the Pet Sematary 2 remake and were hoping that would be good. But then they would talk shit about Terrifier. And then there were the people who were like, this was incredible. Thank you for having me watch this. And that's just the part of it. The casting was epic. To me, when it comes to horror films, you don't need a grand story. You just need to have fun and make it spooky. I mean, you were saying like the for example, when you were sitting there going through these scenes where you're just absolutely still. I know you've had mime experience. You're standing still and then we're waiting for you to just, what is he going to do? And you just lunge at her. And it was just, it was so good.
So that scene especially, it's like that's when I really learned to trust Damien's judgment, because honestly when we filmed that scene I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just saying, like, how is this scary? I'm like, I don't understand this, Damien. What is going on here? He's like, trust me. Trust me, this is going to freak people out. I'm like, okay, I'll trust you. Then I looked at the playback of it, and especially when he edited with all the music, and I'm like, dude, I totally trust you. It's like, and that's how it's gotten. Anytime after that, I was like, sometimes I sit there, I'm like, this makes no freaking sense what we're doing right now. He's like, trust me. I'm like, okay, buddy. Okay, I do trust you. I do trust you.
It's a work of art. I have to say, my terrible
puns keep coming.
They all keep coming. Okay, so were there any, you were saying that you were giving us some background or some info about what it was like filming certain scenes and like the grueling conditions. Aside from poor Catherine and taking hours to film that scene, were there any other funny incidents or mishaps during production?
Oh, so
that we don't know about? Give me one that sticks out the most.
I mean, I'll tell you the one in just a second. But yeah, I was like, example of mishaps that happened. He's like, the scene where I'm riding the bicycle. You see the crash that happened. Some people think that was staged. No, that was a real crash.
No way.
Damien
what?
I was crashing on that thing constantly. I would sometimes do the laugh in on the tricycle thing and just fall sideways all of a sudden just for no reason, because I just lost the momentum. I would just be whoop, whoop, whoop. It was the hardest thing to ride around on because I'm 6'2" and I was wearing those huge.
You're tall.
Yeah, and I had those huge shoes on too, and that floor was slick, and so it's just like it was. I think that was one of the funniest nights on set, though, as hard as it was, because we're all just so delirious. We're all just laughing so much. It was so funny. But there was that, and one of those happy mistakes that made it in the film, just like me flicking off Samantha too. That was all. That was one of those things where Dame had already said cut, and I was just joking around with her because she had to do that shot again because she hated doing the shot. So I'm like, fuck you. and that made the whole crew just start laughing. So they were like, let's keep that in. That's great. That's a great moment right there. So
I love
it's one of those happy accidents. But I would say probably the biggest moment, that happened was there was this night where it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Jen is filming the scene with all the prosthetics with getting shot in the face.
Oh yes.
So I was just waiting in the dressing room with makeup and all the blood on me, and these two women, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning in Trenton, New Jersey. These two women are having an argument on the street below, and I'm bored, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go watch this argument, and I forget how I looked, and so I'm just sitting there casually watching this argument. One of them looks up and sees me, and I wave at her. I'm like, hi.
Oh my god.
And they both see me and freak out, scream, running off. About 10-15 minutes later, Damien and our producers and the crew come in. They're all kind of giggling and stuff like that. They seem very excited about something. I'm like, oh, what's up? The guy's like, hey, Dave, we got somebody here that wants to see you. I'm like, oh, cool. Because at the time, our producer Phil was doing a movie with Tom Sizemore, and he apparently thought at one point that Tom was going to come visit us on set. So I was like, oh my God, is Tom Sizemore here? That would be epic.
Oh, right?
So I was like, oh, well, Dave, don't come out. We want to be a surprise. So don't come out until we tell you to. I'm like, okay, guys, cool. I'm too trusting. I'm way too trusting at times. It's one of my biggest weaknesses. So there's this big, huge garage door that I had to roll up. So they're like, Dave, come out. So I'm rolling up. Like, I'm coming out from underneath. And I look up, and they're about 10-15 of New Jersey's finest in full-on riot gear.
Oh.
And I just squeak out this little, what's up? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I think my butt just puckered in that second, because I'm just like, oh my God. And there's like silence. And I'm like, yep, I'm gonna die. I am about to die. Damien sent me in front of a firing squad. Oh my God. And then they just all start laughing.
Oh,
okay. I'm like, oh. Oh, thank God.
You're thinking, is this like part of the scene, or am I really going to get shot right now?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. They're like, yeah, buddy, be glad you didn't come out first, because we would have shot you on sight. I'm like, I believe you, officer. Because at that time, the building we were filming in did not have any running water. So we had a porta potty right out there that we were always using. And so I'm like, I am so glad I was not going to take a pee right before that's happened, because I might not be here right now. It was just
oh my God, that would have been in one of those terrible stories that would have ended up on Curse on Shudder.
Oh yeah.
I'm just glad you're here.
Oh, me too, because it's one thing to just come out and just see it, just ready to go to war. You're like, oh my God, this is, and like, so I was also like, what part of Trenton are we filming in? This is how the police respond.
Well, I did just watch another indie horror film the other day that was also filmed based off of Trenton, New Jersey. I only got Trent, New Jersey. It's a pretty sketchy place, and that's based off of another horror film that I just watched.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. So the building was even derelict. That's insane.
Oh, yeah. I love it. That was not set dressing at all. That was everything you saw in the film. That was all in that bathroom was that nasty.
Oh, what about the pizza parlor? Speaking of nasty, disgusting bathrooms. Oh. I read somewhere, I think it was probably IMDb, because again, I love the movie so much, that Damien actually wanted it filmed at a burger joint, but decided on the pizza place instead, based off of Catherine and Samantha's food lifestyle, which is awesome because the way she picked off the pizza, again, I pick up everything off of it. I thought it worked beautifully. So, getting kicked out of that scene, that's one of my other favorites. Okay, the whole movie is my favorite scene. But your reaction there, just like with the girls, that was terrifying. And then there's like this meme that's out there that goes off of like the faces of anxiety throughout the day.
Yeah.
Art the clown sitting at the table.
That was my favorite scene to film. It was just
fun.
You got to see every aspect of the character in that scene. That told you everything you needed to know about the character from the get-go. You didn't need any dialogue from it at all. You knew what he was about from that scene, and that's what I loved. And I got to play around so much in that scene too. It wasn't just stab. I actually just got to really experiment a lot and see what all I could come up with.
You are
It was so much
really
fun.
onto something here. I mean, I can't get over it. You're such a funny, upbeat, and positive man. Like you, during the pandemic, you've been positive. You're cracking me up with your Instagram videos. Like there was moments where I don't know if you remember, but actually, California. I'm in California,
Hmm.
obviously. My birthday, March 19th, was the day that Governor Newsom decided, okay, it's time we're going to lock them down. So I've been planning my 40th birthday for years. And you
Yeah.
were to be a part of it. You were going to schedule
Yes.
to be at Days of the Dead. I was going to have my birthday party, which I had a Terrifier cake. Um, and then, well, I still got the cake, so that was good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I ate the whole cake too. And then,
Of
but
course
my
you got
plan
to.
was to go to have the cake at a brewery and then go to Vegas for Days of the Dead to try to meet you, or at least have one of my friends like FaceTime me while they were with you. Instead, again, it may have been the shittiest 40th birthday, but it was actually one of the best. It didn't go as planned because one of my friends was kind enough to reach out to you. You
Hmm.
sent me a birthday video I'm
Yes.
cherishing for the rest of my life. You have
Yay.
no idea what that did for my birthday. So thank you.
You're
Now,
very welcome.
based off of how awesome you are and such a nice guy, how the hell do you change mindsets to become such a murderer? I can't even say murder. You're Arthur Khan is a brutal, brutal motherfucker, but we love him so much. Like, how do you get into that mindset when you're, holding paper, plastic bags over mouths and such?
I guess I tap into all that anger I had growing up being bullied for years.
Oh, that's actually, that's actually
Yeah.
very intriguing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like that, and plus I've always loved playing characters that are totally opposite of myself. I find I can really just go outside of myself more that way and just really have fun with things and experiment. So I love playing bad guys, and I that's what I did. I just pulled from my love of great horror villains and also pulled from my love of great physical comedians and just blended them together and created art. I always look at art as basically the bastard child of Freddy Krueger and Harpo Marx.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes total sense. No, just a little bit on Nightwing. How did you land the role of that? Playing the Joker. How
Yeah.
did you get involved?
Well, fun thing is, I actually got cast both with Joker and Art that same week, like within a day of each other, I think. So that was pretty crazy. I was like, holy shit! I got cast as two killer clowns in the same
Right?
week. This is fantastic.
This
But
is
yeah,
my
I
life right
came.
now.
Oh, I know. But I got that through. I was taking a voiceover class in New York for character work and stuff like that with Paul Liberti, who is an amazingly talented voiceover actor. So he's like one of the current voices of Barney Rubble and stuff like that. He's
Okay.
very talented man. And one of my classmates had auditioned for Nightwing. He actually had auditioned for Joker, and he was like, I'm not even right for the part. He would have been more like a penguin type character or something like that. But he's like, I just wanted to go in because just have fun doing it. He said, but he's like, I know I'm not right for it, but you're perfect for this role. So I want, I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, it doesn't pay or anything. I'm like, oh, that's fine. It's like, it's the Joker. I would love to just have an opportunity to
Right?
play him. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, he's like, here, just contact the director and go from there. So I sent the director I have a video on YouTube where I do the one bad day monologue from The Killing Joke, and I sent that to him, and he's like, oh, please come in for an audition. And I just did the reading in the room, and they brought in the girl that they were looking at the time for Harley Quinn, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, we want you.
I have to put up some images because the photos alone are already like a little unnerving. So you're on to some great things.
Thank you,
Now,
thank
did
you.
you have any idea that Terrifier and basically art would become as iconic as it's become, especially in such a short amount of time? Because you can't beat around the bush. It is iconic at this point. Speaking of Spirit Halloween, I look back at the fact that, Trick or Treat was an indie horror film,
Hmm.
and over a decade later, look at the desire for the movie.
Yeah.
Like everybody still wants that. I see that happening for Terrifier. It already has. Pretty soon we'll be getting animatronics. Ooh, maybe we'll get those this year. But did you have any idea it was going to become what it's become?
No, not at all. No. Oh gosh, no, because we were trying to be honest with ourselves from the get-go, because we were just a very, 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 very low budget independent film. We didn't have any Hollywood support or anything like that. We were just doing it ourselves. We were basically making it for the fans of All Hallows Eve, because they wanted more art. So we're like, let's do this. And Damien had the idea. He'd always wanted to do a full movie with art, so he's like, let's do this, and that's why we did it. Yeah, we talked about it. Like, we would love it to be big and stuff like that, but we knew we were trying to compete with it, because they had not even started filming it at the time, but they were in talks at the time. We're like, oh god, we're probably going to come out when it comes out. Great. They were like, great. That's either going to really hurt us or it's going to really help us, because it's going to get that hype going with Scary Clowns. So luckily it was the latter. But it was like one of our producers, the first night he saw me on set, he just totally went ape shit. He was like, holy crap, that's fantastic. I love this look of this character. This is iconic. He's like, you guys don't realize it yet, but this is going to stick with people. This is a very original looking character. This is going to stick with people. People are going to it's going to resonate with people. It's going to go places. This is going to become a franchise. It's like, mark my words, this is going to take off. We're like, I don't know. He's like, no, trust me. Trust me.
Oh man! I know I'm just one person, but holy shit, man, it's epic. And speaking of, the whole indie horror film, I feel like is what horror is all about. This isn't, big budget films. I mean, some of them are great. I mean, it worked with it. It worked with it. It was great.
Yeah.
But what if I always think about this? What if Terrifier, or even Terrifier 2, got picked up by a huge movie company? Really, do you think Art the Clown would be who he is today based off that?
No. Oh, I know he wouldn't be. It's because that's one of the things when we first tried doing distribution for the first film, we encountered people that wanted to put us into the movie theaters, but they wanted to make big, huge edits to the film. Big cuts, and especially to the hacksaw scene, and Damien was absolutely adamant against that. He was like, absolutely not. That's going to stay. He said that's what's going to make this film. That's going to stick out to people. You cannot cut that.
That's right.
And so he had, I don't know what studios he turned down, but he apparently turned down some major studios because of that, because he did not want to sacrifice the integrity of the film. He did not want to sacrifice his vision. And we almost went self-distribution until Steve Barton, a.k.a. Uncle Creepy, saw us at one of the screenings we did in L.A., and he's like, holy crap, this film has got to be seen by people. So he went to the people at Dread Central, and he's like, please, you guys, just take a chance on this film. This is going to go somewhere.
Absolutely. And I can tell, I can assure you, Dread Central knows what they have, that treasure that they have.
Yeah. I hope so. But that's the thing. It's like, we encountered some of this with, trying to get money raised for Terrifier 2. We went to a few places, and people they liked the script, but they didn't want us to do some of the stuff we're doing in it. Because we do some controversial stuff in part 2, by far. We're not pulling back. That's the thing. We were adamant against doing that. We're like, we want to build upon what we did in Terrifier 1. We don't want to pull back from, especially the kills. We want to keep going forward with that. Yeah, we don't want to just, because that's what the fans want. That's what.
We love it.
That's the thing. It's like with Hollywood studios, they are more concerned about putting butts in seats, and so they tone down everything because they're more concerned about making things more PG-13 than a hard R close to NC-17. I think if we got a rating for part 2, especially, we would definitely be NC-17. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind about that. Yeah. But that's the hard thing. It's like, well, we would love to be seen in theaters and stuff like that, because films like this you need to see on a big screen. But that's the thing. It's like, what do we want to sacrifice the integrity of the film for that? And it's like, no, we're just going to do what we're doing, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. So we're like, okay, let's stick to being independent like we were before, and that way we have the freedom to do what you want to do. We don't have to worry about the studios coming down on us and telling us you can't do this and you can't do that. and I see this with, not just our film, but I see that with a lot of other independent horror films that have been successful. It's because they have that freedom to tell the story they want to tell, and they don't have to worry about appeasing certain suits that really aren't real fans of the genre. They're making the films for the fans. And Damien himself is a true horror fan. He's born and raised with horror. He knows what works and what does not. He knows what people want to see. He makes the films he wants to see.
I love it. And that's exactly how it works. And look at the following. And speaking of theaters, really, how many of us, I don't want to see it in a theater. I mean, I would, but I'd want to see it in like a shitty theater, or like a real small independent theater, or like a really cool independent theater like the Frida in California, in Santa Ana, California. They like playing indie films. So it's part of the business. It's so much fun, and it makes it more exclusive and the demand higher. I love that I had to look for it, in order to find it. And I felt like I was watching something, forbidden and super underground. So that's the feel that I love about that. I'm a huge fan of Michael Daughtry as well. And I love Sam from Trick or Treat. Have you ever thought like how funny it would be to make like, I don't know how you feel about Trick or Treat, but what about a Sam and Art collaboration? What would that be like?
Because Halloween's both of their nights, so it's just like that would be. I love that anthology. That is like, I think that's probably my favorite horror anthology. I had so much fun watching that film. I hate hearing about what's happened with this director, but oh boy.
Yeah, I know. But, it's insane.
But that's the thing. It's like, I don't want what's happened in that guy's personal life to impact the production that was made by a bunch of talented people that are good people. So,
exactly.
But that film itself is, I love that film. I can watch that film over and over again, and I find new things in it every time I watch it, and I love it. Absolutely love that film. Huge fan of that film.
I want to see if I can find one of my artist friends to make up at least a comic for it or something like that. So, during the pandemic, what have you been watching and reading that you would recommend or wouldn't recommend?
Oh gosh, I've been watching so much. Well, I've been reading The Stand off and on.
You too?
Yeah, okay. Not The Stand. Salem's Lot. I read The Stand years ago. It's just on my mind right now because of the new movie. But yeah,
right.
But the book is one of my favorite books ever written. So I'm just like, I love that book. Love that book. I can't wait to see the new series. That's gonna be fantastic. But
perfect.
Yeah. I've been playing a lot of video games. Been doing a lot of that. Been playing, Dragon Quest XI recently, which is fantastic. Neo 2, Control, stuff like that. I'm a big, huge geek. Movie, TV show wise, I recently finished watching Hunters on Amazon Prime.
I gotta get on that.
Oh my gosh, it is so good, because I have a background with a lot of the stuff they address in that show, because I'm from Huntsville, Alabama originally, which is the home of NASA, where NASA first started. And it actually deals with the whole Operation Paperclip, with the U.S. bringing over the Germans after World War II, the ex-Nazis and stuff like that. My grandfather was on the original von Braun team. He was with the Army Missile Command when they were all brought over, and he worked with these guys. He was working right there with von Braun to start the original rocket program. So it's like that. I love this series addresses all of that, and it kind of paints like an alternative view towards history in some ways, but I don't want to spoil anything because it's got some great twists in there. It's a really good series. I can't wait for the next season to see where things go, the way it ends. I'm like, oh my god, so good, so very good.
I have heard about it. I know I'm like, I have time. Why not watch it?
Yeah. So I've been watching that. Been watching this sounds so funny because coming from me, but I've been watching DuckTales, a new version of DuckTales.
Oh, I used to love watching DuckTales after school when I was a kid.
This new version is so good.
Is it good?
It looks a lot like the old comic strip with the colors and stuff like that, but they've done a lot of modern updates to it that make sense in ways. Like Miss Beakley's no longer just the maid; she's a former shush agent. So she's like this badass ex-spy, and it's like like Huey and Dewey and Louie have their own personalities now. So they're all everything's fantastic, and it's got so much love
towards both the original comics and also the whole Disney afternoon block. They have brought in characters from Tailspin, Goof Troop, Gummy Bears, Darkwing Duck especially. It's just
Launchpad. Remember Launchpad? Remember DuckTales?
All of that.
DuckTales.
It's made my
childhood.
This is what I love about this show. It's like I wish I had kids, because I think it's a great show for parents to watch with their kids, because it's something that appeals to both, and it's a great, it's like a passing of the torch of generations. I know, like, one of my good friends is a huge Disney fan. He's been watching it with his kids, and he's like, I love this. It's like oh, this is a throwback to this, what Daddy used to watch back in the day.
Right? I wonder if my kids would do it. I've had them watch all kinds of things, and they're at the point where they're like, look, we don't want to watch anything you recommend anymore. They told me The Exorcist wasn't scary. They laughed through the whole thing when that terrified me. I remember my two teenage boys, when I had the Terrifier on the big screen, my two teenage boys were sitting there eating, and they're looking at me going, he said, again, they're teenagers, they're allowed to speak like this. They looked at me and go, Mom, what the fuck is wrong with you? So I don't know if I'll watch it for myself and hope that they come in and just go, hey, this is great. But they were like, they didn't stop watching Terrifier. Yeah. They kept watching it and were just questioning their mother's sanity.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah. As every good teenager does,
Right. So with all that, for the rest of 2020, we already know that a lot of conventions are canceled, boo-hoo-hoo, and there's a lot of unknown. What can you give us about Terrifier 2? Any updates? And what are you working on? I heard through a little bird that you're actually working on another horror film.
Yes, actually 2 more. But Terrifier is almost finished filming. We were almost finished filming when the pandemic happened. So I think I have maybe 4 or 5 more days left on set myself. And I think they have maybe a few more with some other people. So it's almost finished, which is so frustrating about this pandemic. But, Damien has not wasted this time that we've had off. He's done a lot of editing for the film, so he's trying to keep everything on track. I mean, he just sent me a whole big, huge scene that we filmed right before the pandemic started, one of our biggest set pieces in the film, and it's basically almost completely edited, minus a few special effects here or there. But it looks amazing. I can't wait for people to see this, and I can't wait to get back to filming so we can finish this, because this film, I think, is going to be our Terminator 2. I
love hearing that.
Because, Terminator was great, but Terminator 2 just took things to a new level, and I think that's what this film is going to do. It's like we keep, the nature of art the same. Art's still art. He's still killing people in crazy, over the top, very gory ways. The gore's definitely there, more so than in the first one. But we're bringing more of a narrative element into it as well, because I know that was some of the critiques we had. Oh, there's no story. It's like, the story was survival, but it's really the story of what you're seeing, what made this one girl go batshit crazy and kill a TV host.
Right. You understood that was the story.
Yeah, it was basically that whole one bad day type of story. But this one's more narrative focus. It focused on this our new protagonist, who I know everybody's just going to absolutely love. This character, Sienna, and her little brother, and he's very almost like a Tommy Jarvis type of character, which I love. I think a lot of people are going to identify with these characters because they're kind of like horror geeks themselves in a lot of ways.
Perfect.
So it's they're not your cookie cutter characters, which I love about it. And it's her journey, is that you see her become the hero that she's supposed to be, and it's things really come to a head. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a fun. That's the thing. It's a fun movie.
Oh, I cannot wait. Do we have a release, projected release date, or one that they're aiming for? Is it supposed to be 2020 or 2021?
Right now. We had originally hoped for fall of this year, but now with the pandemic, that's really set a lot of things back, because we have to finish filming, then we have to edit, then we have to find distribution for it too, which that takes months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we would figuratively, if everything had gone well, we would be doing all that now.
Right.
So this has delayed things, but so I'm thinking we're probably going to come out early next year. As much as I hate saying that, but I think that's probably what's going to have to happen realistically. But, that's the thing. It's like we're all of us in this industry right now, we're all in the same boat. everything is being pushed back because of this pandemic. So it's like, it's not just us, it's everybody. I know the CW just delayed all of their shows until next year.
Yep.
So I'm just like, that's just, we got to just deal with it. That's the thing. And
deal with it and be creative. I mean, there are ways we can revisit. There's, there's fan art, there's fan fiction. The virtual realm is a huge thing for me right now. Just kind of keep it going.
And that's what you're seeing is everybody's finding creative outlets right now. I think this whole experience is actually going to be a boon to this industry in the long run, because people have started really thinking about things and coming up with new ideas. They've taken this time while they're stuck at home to be creative and really pursue some things that they probably wouldn't have had time to pursue.
Right. So and tap into what's within. And we've been talking about this the whole time. It's actually, it's awful. It's definitely, it's going to suck. But in my perspective, every day's Halloween. So if Terrifier comes out, Terrifier 2 comes out in January, I'll just, of course the season's not the same, but whatever, the feeling is there. But we're here waiting for it. We all, Terrifier fans are fully supportive of it. Yeah. So we're waiting for
we came out when Terrifier debuted. We debuted in March of 2018. Mm-hmm. And then Netflix picked us up in September of that year, and so we had a resurgence that Halloween. So it was like, that might just happen. That might happen the same way again this time. Who knows? We'll find out. Of
course. I'm sure. It might even be bigger. So what else are you working on, if you're allowed to say?
Yes. Other than that, some of our crew guys, the Fuzz on the Lens guys, that they played the cops in the first one, as well as the exterminator that I decapitate. They have their own film company, and it's a funny film called Abnormal Attraction that you all need to check out. It's hysterical, but they're starting up their own horror franchise called Stream. I can't say more about it because we don't want anybody stealing the idea.
No, get it?
Yeah. But it's a great concept that I have not seen before, but it really works in today's society in so many ways. The way they want to do this with the 3 movies they have in mind, I think, is a brilliant idea, and they're trying to get different people from the horror industry involved in it as well. So it's going to be a very exciting and fun project to work on. And plus, I love working with these guys anyway. We have so much fun working together on set. So I'm excited about working with them. So we're hopefully going to start filming that this fall. And then another film that's been announced that I'm going to be taking part in is called Spirit Reckoning. It's a horror Western.
Ooh.
Yes. And I'm not playing the bad guy in that one. I am actually going to be playing... Oh, no, yeah. I play the anti-hero.
I like anti-heroes.
I play a cowboy that gets murdered. He and his family are murdered by these outlaws, and he's hung and burned, and he's brought back from the dead, and his face is burned off, so it's a skull. So he's the skull-faced cowboy, and he's on a quest for revenge.
Fuck yeah!
And it is batshit over-the-top crazy. It's gonna be fun.
I can't wait. Anything that you're in, David, I think is going to be pure gold. And
it's got a great. They've already announced 2 of the other cast members in it. Sean Patrick Flannery from Boondock Saints is going to be playing my sidekick / best friend / mentor, and Lou Temple is from Walking Dead and Devil's Rejects and all that. He's going to be playing one of the main bad guys.
Oh, he's perfect for any bad guy in that setting. He's perfect.
Oh, he's going to be fantastic, and I'm so, because I hear he's such a sweetheart too. So I'm very excited about working with him, because I know we're going to. Yeah, I know I'm going to be able to learn so much from him, and I'm like, oh, cool, I can go back to using my Southern accent again too. So,
and one more thing before I let you go today. I have a gripe with. Okay, I might have 2. My husband said, maybe don't do this on camera, but people know about this. The first gripe is when things, get, I don't think anything's ever going to be the same. How do we get you to California when, we are allowed to start having conventions and shows again? How do we get you and Damien to California? It seems like you guys stop at the Pacific. You guys stop at Nevada.
We want to go out to California. It's like we just have to get invited out. I was up in Sacramento last year at
Sinister Creature Con?
Yeah, Sinister Creature Con, yeah. I get so many cons now that I've been to. I'm trying to keep them all straight in my head. It's just like, no offense to the people at Sinister Creature Con. I love you guys. it's like, okay. Especially once you hit 40, brain goes.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's you too? You forget things almost instantly?
Oh,
okay.
I walk into rooms and I'm like, why did I come in here?
I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
I thought it was stoner brain, but apparently it's just 40.
No, it's just,
but what is, so you said you have to be invited. What the hell?
It's usually the promoters of the con, they just invite us to come out and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would especially love to go to Monsterpalooza. I think that would be a lot of fun. Plus, I'm wanting to move out to LA eventually anyway. So it's like with Spirit Reckoning, I think we might be filming out in California. So that might be my excuse to finally move out there. So.
Oh, yay! I'll be following that. Okay, so my other gripe is, we'll talk about Monsterpalooza next year, Midsummer Scream. These are places that I am shocked as shit that they haven't invited you. So for the past couple years, especially, I just put myself out there a few months ago, and, not as successful as you are yet. And of course, I'm not doing any comparison, but pretty much I can't believe, the response that I'm getting with my own thing. But one of the things is one of my friends interviewed you a couple years ago, right when Terrifier came out. And I'm like, dude, that's so epic. That's what made me follow him and become friends. So then my stalker fangirl ass was like, okay, David Howard Thornton is following all these people on Instagram. So I start tagging you and you start liking and commenting. And I'm like, he's still not following me. Can I get your follow now?
Oh, yeah. Let me do that right now. It's the thing. It's like, what sucks about Instagram?
Everything.
Is that is that it only allows you to follow so many people.
Oh, is that what the case is?
Yeah, and I follow back.
Well, don't get kicked out on my account.
Followed you back.
It happened. It happened.
Oh yeah, but it's like I was for the longest time I would constantly just follow everybody that followed me because I thought that was the kind thing to do. It's like if someone's gonna follow me, I'm gonna follow them back. And then it's like I reached my limit apparently, and they're like, oh. But then occasionally, sometimes I can actually follow people back, and it's like the numbers keep fluctuating because I think some people that followed me were fake people, and so I followed them back, and it's like, so I'm like, so I don't even really look at the list of people that follow me anymore because I'm just like, I don't know. It's like usually I was like it's like someone usually just has to message me and like, can you follow me? I'm like, oh yeah, sure.
I never would do that, but it's you, and I can't help it. And it's been a game that that I've been telling my husband, and he's like, and my friends, they're like, just let Art the Clown keep taunting you with his likes and comments on your stuff. I'm like, I just want him to follow me.
Nothing. Yeah, it's nothing personal at all.
I know.
It's like, no, I wish I could follow everybody. It's just like these arbitrary limits. It's 7,500 people that you can follow apparently.
Well, good to know.
I'm like, I didn't know that. I'm like, what a weird number to come to as well. It's like 7,500. I'm like, where did you reach this number? It's like
on Instagram,
it's the internet. You can basically just keep following people forever. It's
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
It's just a funny story, just a little plot line that we had because I am an inspired writer, so we like to write. But you guys, David's following me now. I think I can now throw in the towel. The show Halloween's over. I'm just kidding. David, you are incredible. I cannot wait to keep following you and stalking and seeing everything that you do. I appreciate it. I love everything Damien has done. I love how you guys are so good to your fan base. Everyone in the film, just keep doing what you're doing. Have hope. It's going to work out. The fans are here for you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for taking the time and hanging out with me today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me around.
Of course. All right, guys. Make sure that you follow David Howard Thornton if you're not already. I don't know how we're friends or family if you're not. And also, if you want to get a pretty rad horror-themed tattoo, go see Tattoos by Relapse. I'll send that information later on. He loves doing horror-themed tattoos in LA and Orange County and the Inland Empire. David has no idea where these places are because he doesn't live in California yet. You'll be here
One
soon.
day. One day. I love California.
What is your favorite? You know, let's keep it going. What's your favorite spot that you visited before?
I mean, I would say that my favorite spot in California is San Francisco because I have a lot of memories there because my cousins used to live in Novato when I was a kid. So we would go up, and I have a lot of family memories of San Francisco, going to visit
the weather's
there.
Beautiful there.
It's like all of California. Everywhere I've been in California, I've just loved. It's like there was one year when I was a kid growing up, we drove all the way from San Diego all the way to San Francisco up the coast and visited places like Solvang and stuff like that. And it was just like one of the best vacations. I love that state. It just puts me in such a different state of mind when I'm there. It just makes me so just relaxed and chill. I feel like just zen when I'm in California. I love that state. I
love hearing that. You found the place where you want to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I love California. Yep. Also hate it, but I've been here my whole life. So
yeah.
Northern California is gorgeous, but this is where it's the hub of all things movie related, I guess. Yeah. So, and creatively, so it's a great state.
It is.
Okay, David,
really is.
You're the best, dude. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Shut the fuck up.